Welcome to Food, Tapas, and Wine. Today we are going to be making esencia or agua de azahar. Now I'm going to show you a couple different ways to do this. Agua de azahar comes from the blossoms of citrus fruits. Azahar generally refers to the flowers of the orange tree. Right now, our lime and lemon trees are in bloom, and I wanted some agua de azahar to make some homemade monas de Pascua. Those are a typical Easter sweetbread that's served this time of year. The weather's been pretty cold this year, so just the last 2 days it's been really warm, but my trees are just now starting to come into full bloom. So what I like to do, I don't like to disturb the flowers that are on the tree, but with all the wind, we've been losing a lot of them. So I tend to collect the flowers that fall. The open flowers tend to be much more fragrant. I also collect the ones that fall before they open, but I find that they don't give the same aroma or the same flavor. Now, most people here make what they call agua de azahar. It's basically just a tea, an herbal tea made with just the flowers of either the orange tree or other citrus fruits. I like to pull the stems off because they can add bitterness to it, and then to strain out the flowers, and then they say to keep it up to 6 months or a year. But I would never keep a tea that I made last year and try to drink it months later. Anything that has water in it can build up mold or bacteria that you can't see. So if you want to preserve this longer, I'm going to give you a couple of tips of how to do this. Now, most people would say strain this out if you can use an amber colored bottle or one that's darker, and then store it in the fridge. But I wouldn't store it more than about 10 days if you were using that method. What we're going to do is we're going to do what I did when I made homemade food colorings on my other blog, using all sorts of different foods and fruits and other things to get natural colors, to be able to make naturally colored things like boba. I don't know if you've ever tried boba, the tapioca pearls and things like that. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, you can check out my other blog, Oh the Things We'll Make. It's also translated into Spanish at Cosas Caseras. But today we're going to be preserving it also with alcohol. So the nice thing about using the alcohol method is it's really simple. As you obtain flowers, if you just get a few every day, you don't have to make them all at once. You can just obtain a few flowers, rinse them off, and start storing them in a jar or a bottle. And as you build up the amount of flowers, you just keep covering them with a high proof alcohol, something that has 40%, something like vodka or rum are good. And they help extract the flavor while they preserve. This would basically be an extract of azahar. When making something like this with alcohol, the main benefit is that it will keep pretty much indefinitely. We'll be leaving the flowers in there for several weeks just to make sure that we extract all of the goodness, but then you can remove them and keep the remaining liquid almost indefinitely. Now, when making it with alcohol, I'd also like to put special emphasis on removing all of the stems because, again, they can add bitterness. I wasn't quite so careful when I was making this water version. But you can see I made this yesterday. I poured boiling water over the clean petals after removing most of the stems. I didn't do a great job of removing absolutely every single one, but I did remove most of them. And right now we'll be straining this and taking a look to see what we have left. You can definitely smell this. Try getting a spoon, but yeah, it definitely has absorbed the flavor of the flowers too. Now this is what you would normally find in the store. Here, this is called aroma de azahar. It says aroma natural. I'm not sure how they obtain the natural scent and flavor, but those of you who follow my other blog probably know that I'm not a big fan of any sorts of artificial color, flavor, not even if it's labeled natural. Okay, so let's strain out the one I made yesterday. You'll notice that the water has obtained a bit of a yellow color to it. Using a spoon, we can press out as much of the water from the petals as possible, and this will give us a lot more. Smells pretty good. Give it a taste. It actually has quite a strong flavor. Now we're going to try making the Azahar extract with alcohol. Now as I obtain flowers, I will be cleaning them and putting them in the bottle. Because this is going to be something that will keep a lot longer than the Agua de Azahar made with water, I'm going to be a little bit more meticulous about what I choose to put in there. Now every day I go down several times near my lime tree, especially that's in bloom right now. I just went there and I just gathered 3 or 4 more flowers again that fell. You know, just a little bit of wind and the flowers will fall to the ground. So I don't like pulling them off the trees. I like using the ones that fall on their own. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these flowers after rinsing them off and let them dry here on a clean towel, and then I'm going to remove any of the stems, any little limes that have started to form. Now I'll do the same thing with my orange tree when that goes into bloom. It looks like it's going to start going into bloom, but it is still, the flowers are all still closed. The finished extract is much better if you can get mostly just the petals, and when the flowers are open, they're a lot more fragrant than the ones that are closed. So now that I've removed all of this and allowed it to drain off the excess water, they don't have to be perfectly dry. It's okay for a little bit of water. I just don't want to lower the percentage of alcohol much. Okay, so all I have to do is just add the petals that are dry in here and take apart the petals from these other flowers, leaving the stems behind. These are really fragrant, they're really pretty. Almost sad to pull them apart, but this is really good in pastries like the ones. Once we finish that, all we have to do is just cover them in some alcohol. In this case, I am using what's left of a bottle of vodka. Just make sure to fully cover these. Now you could leave this in the dark pantry for several weeks, and you'll notice that the alcohol will take up a little bit of the color of the petals and the scent and the flavor. It's been several weeks now that the flower petals have been steeping in the alcohol. I tried a few different types of alcohol with it, and I really like gin. Something about the gin brings out the floral aspect or quality of the flower petals. gonna open this up and let's see what we got. Yeah, with the gin you can definitely notice that there's a little bit of a citrus quality. Some of the alcohols distract from that. And now it's interesting because this to me smells like a mixture of floral, citrus, bitter, and yet I totally smell mono de Pascua. It's like I can tell the scent that they actually add to the bread to give it flavor. Well, this doesn't smell like bread for some reason. I can just totally smell mono de Pascua. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're going to strain this out now. I have a dark bottle. This was from a bottle of organic olive oil, and this glass dark colored bottle just helps preserve things better. So I'm just gonna use a stainless steel strainer and use a stainless funnel. They don't have to be stainless, I just like working with stainless steel. And we're just gonna pour this right in there. You can notice that the alcohol has obtained this amber, golden amber color from the petals. Now if you wanted to, you could probably get even a little bit more out of this or make a fragrant alcohol for using cocktails by just adding a little bit more. Instead of trying to get every little bit of alcohol out of these petals, you can add them back in here, add a little bit more alcohol. It won't be as strong, but it will give that just a little bit of a subtle flavor that you can add to your cocktails and drinks. So that's just another thing you can do if you want to reuse these petals. But for now, for our Agua de Azahar, this is it. And this definitely keeps for quite some time. You can definitely keep it up for a year, probably much longer than that. So I much prefer this to the water version. Now I still have my water one over there. I can give it a look and show you. This was the Agua de Azahar that I made with water. Now it looks a little cloudy and murky. To me, while most people would just say, maybe that's just, flower petal remains or whatever. Whatever it is, to me that's a sign of bacteria that, they might not be harmful bacteria, but I wouldn't want to take a chance. And to me, this now smells like it's been fermenting. It smells almost like beer, but it's got kind of a musty smell. Now I left this outside of the fridge. I should have left it in the fridge if I had really wanted to preserve it, but I wanted to be able to see what would happen to this over time in comparison to this. They definitely don't smell similar at all. I definitely wouldn't want to drink this, but this smells delicious. So there you have it. Yes, well, the traditional is Agua de Azahar made with water. It's really more of a product that you make for one-time use, and then that's it. You could freeze orange blossom petals to be able to make it whenever you wanted to, but I think for most recipes, having an extract made with alcohol works just as well. It actually, I think this smells much better than this ever did even from the beginning. And it just smells fresh, and it's perfect for preserving. So this is my method of choice. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this, and maybe you'll give it a try if you ever get a hold of some orange blossoms or even lemon or lime blossoms. As you can see, this one was made with lemon. I do now have my orange tree and blossoms, so I'm going to try again and see if I notice any difference between them, and maybe I'll update the post and let you know. But the flowers themselves are very similar, and this to me smells exactly like mono de Pascua, so I think we've gone in the right direction with this. So I hope you have a great day, And if you liked the video, I would love it if you would like and subscribe. And until next time, hasta luego.